Hello everyone, good morning. This is a new episode of the energy of houses and properties. And let's see if Aisha is already checking in so we can invite her. We haven't been able to do it a couple of weeks ago, and Aisha will probably explain the reason why. But let's see if she is already there. Hi, Fenneke. We're waiting for Aisha, for her to check in. And I think she's sending me a message right now. Let me answer that. And let me see how I can get rid of this message, because everything is messed up right now. So if you have any questions about the energy in your property or your home, let us know so we can try to give you an answer for that question. And there Aisha is, and I will invite her to join. Yeah, there she comes. Yes, there she is.
Hello, good morning.
Yay!
Good morning.
Good morning. It was a bit of a messy start on my part. So, good morning, everyone. Hello, Aisha. We haven't been speaking to each other for over a month, I think. Maybe you would like to explain the reason why? Because I'm really curious about how everything is been and how are you doing? And well, just take the floor.
Nicky, it has been quite a challenge here in Turkey due to the earthquake and the impact at both physically, energetically, soulfully, spiritually, and survivally. That's not a word, but right, some basic survival needs need to be met for many people right now. And we talk about home, right? How our homes are important. It's so important for us to create these sanctuaries, right? That hold us, that allow us to grow, that allow us to expand, that bring us comfort, safety, grounding, right? These basic things. And a lot of the people that have been affected by the earthquake who have survived the earthquake don't have any of the structures of a home left. Nothing. We've just had over 1,000 people, families that have been boarded in a kind of like a dormitory of some kind, very close to us actually in this direction along the water. So they traveled all the way from the east to the west of Turkey. Many people are being boarded in different cities. Talk about just your whole, everything is collapsed for them. Everything needs to be rebuilt. There were that region that was affected by the earthquake. There was a lot of very wealthy people there, and we were laughing a little bit about it. But a lot of people keep their money they're not so into banks supposedly in that region. Now this could be a bit of gossip. I don't know if that's like a fact for everyone there. Of course, I'm sure people are using banks, but I had a friend who mentioned that in that region, in Hatay region, there's still a lot of people keeping their money even in safes, in bank, in the mattress, storing, right? So we're talking everything here, people. Money, wads of cash were even found beside a man who I'm praying to God that he survived. So money, cash, clothes, personal belongings, walls, roof, everything. And the worst, and that's not even the worst, to be losing family members, to be losing teachers, to be losing um, distant family members, friends, colleagues. It's horrendous. And I refrain from giving any kind of a spiritual meaning behind any of this, to be honest, right now. I do know that when I have connected with Gaia, that it's we're being forced to look at how we build. There have been some very irresponsible buildings being built, destructive buildings being built in that region. Developers have cut corners. They haven't used the right kind of concrete, not enough reinforcement in the buildings. Maybe secret deals between some municipality, right, building inspectors have been done. And it's pathetic because Turkey, I mean, we're one of the most, like, we're one of the top builders in the world. We've got huge construction, amazing construction companies, very professional, who work in various parts of the world, especially within like Kazakhstan, Baku region, like all over the world. And so it's not that we're not educated, right? It's this stupid, greedy, heartless people who just care about the money that they can pocket immediately in there, right? Or people who are, wanting to get people's votes, let's say, developers' votes. So it's like, okay, I'll let you just, squeeze this project through the system without proper control. Now, architects also have lost a lot of their control here in Turkey. Builders are the ones who are calling the shots. Some of my colleagues, Turkish architect colleagues, would be better in describing the exact details of those decisions that were made. So architects have been trained to look more at the big picture. If they went to a good school, and if they were fortunate to be educated by sensitive, conscious teachers, okay? And I'm not talking about being a spiritual teacher at all. I'm just talking about some basic knowledge, some really important knowledge about how human beings need to thrive, or what kind of spaces, cities, communities, buildings do people need to live in a healthy way. Some really basic things. And architects have studied these things, right? They care about beauty, more or less, right? We care about building responsibly. We care about building buildings that are that fit in with the vernacular of a given environment. We care about looking at the geology. We care about looking at the genus, listening to the genus loci, even if we're not aware that that's what we're doing. But we study the grounds. we study the grounds. And if we're wise, architects hire, subcontract, right? The engineer who knows what they're doing, especially, there should be like a big, red, sign on all building applications in that region, especially if you're on a very, very strong, powerful fault line, that, big fat writing. Before you apply, architect or engineer or builder, make sure you've got the earthquake expert on the team, right? The engineer who knows, right? Or that, there are these standards. And we do have these standards. They are, they don't need to be rewritten or anything. So it's like, I'm just pissed. I'm angry. I'm upset to see all that in this day and age, we're in 2023, that we've gone so backwards, and that we're building tall concrete. That's a lot of weight. I mean, in some situations, concrete is a good choice, I do think, but that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight. And you just get crushed under it.
In the Netherlands, apart from all the stories about the troops that we've sent and Europe has sent to help to find survivors and all that, and I think there has been a huge action to acquire money just to help in Turkey and Syria. That has also been a lot in the news about the quality of buildings and how much bribing was involved in that. And I cannot imagine what that does to your architect heart. Like you just said, it must be so infuriating and saddening and everything and more, just to know that this could happen, that basic safety measures have been overlooked on purpose.
Stupid people. Stupid. Yeah, and it really crushes my heart. I felt a collapse within my body, as I'm a sensitive person as well, right? I could feel the tremors in Gaia's, in the tremors in the earth, and it just it rippled out into the whole country, into our bodies. Everyone felt it. Everyone. We were all walking around like zombies, and just visiting each other at the local stores, the cheese shop, the local pharmacy. We're all just having tea with each other and crying. And it's really beautiful to see all the love pouring in from Turkey and also from different parts of the world. Yeah, it's imagine that you don't know if your building is safe. So there's a lot of now trauma that people are going through, children are going through. They don't want to go back into the house. They don't want to go back into the apartment. There were 2 major earthquakes back to back. These were very, very powerful earthquakes, okay? And they did studies. If there was something of this magnitude in other regions in Europe or other places, it would just be carpet. It would be a carpet. The buildings that most people are building, because they're not, anyway. So it's surprising that a lot of them did still stand. And of course, the ones that were designed to be resilient against an earthquake, a tremor like that, they are standing. So we know, there's proof. It's like, it can. Japan is one of the best examples of earthquake-prone design buildings. And there's a lot of foundations that move there. It's a very expensive foundation, but it's like a moving foundation, so it responds more to the movement. And then, of course, steel is a good, if the building is moving more, it's less heavy than the concrete, right? Then it can kind of sway, really. It can sway in the earthquake. But here it's predominantly concrete construction. We need to be working a bit more with steel, although I do have hesitations with the energetics of steel. I don't find that steel on its own, there's a kind of quality to that structure that doesn't feel very good, but I think there are ways to make it energetically healthy, even if you use a steel structure. What's most important is that we're building safe. Now, if we zoom out and look into the bigger picture, of the urban planning, Nicky, I remember we had a conversation about urban planning and the scale of a street, right? And towers can run the risk of being too high because you lose that connection with the ground. The big question here is, why are we building such tall buildings like that within one of the major fault lines? Everything needs to be reinvented. The way we live, there are issues with too many jobs being lost within rural areas in Turkey, and there's too much clustering occurring within major cities, And then, of course, there's a growing population, and it just keeps on, There's so many factors. Economic, social, geographic, but there's a lot of people now looking at wanting to leave. The real estate agents have quite a job on their shoulders now, because there's a lot of people who want to sell their apartment buildings, predominantly in Turkey, in the major towns and cities. We live in apartment buildings. That's the typology. And in Izmir here, there were a few buildings that went down in an earthquake, not even as strong as the one in that we just experienced. So there's just a big reconstructing that needs to go on, Nicky. And when I take it to the spiritual level, I feel it so deeply in my body. I mean, I had panic attacks. I'll be totally transparent with you. I had panic attacks. I couldn't breathe. I felt like everything was crumbling. I wanted to give up. And we're being forced to reconstruct down to the bone, right? Down to every piece on an energetic level, regardless of who's responsible for what happened. Regardless, I mean, at a certain level, we're all responsible. There's a lot of people right now arguing with each other, people on different political sides in Turkey, people who are, there's a lot of support too, but I'm just saying there's this realm of, you did this and you did that and and like, you should have built it like this, and it was your fault for voting for that guy, and this is what happens when this man is in power. These buildings were built, also way before the man who is now, in charge of our country was in power. So come on, we are all responsible. On a certain level, we're all responsible, and we all need to do our part in helping how we can, whether it's adopting children who have lost their parents. My husband shared, was it 95,000, almost 100,000 applications came in from all different parts of the world to adopt children. It's so beautiful. It's so, and that's really beautiful. And to see everyone on the ground there, they're really helping each other. You know, it doesn't matter what political side you're in or whatever. And then there's this whole layer of Twitter or other, you know, social media there where there's a lot of this arguing going on, you know, and enough is enough, you know. It's time to start to act. We're in the process of moving, and we're looking also at how we can support families as well on the land, and how we can help them find a home. Now, this is real stuff. This is real stuff. We're, you know, people need appliances and food and, yeah, baby diapers. So it's really hitting home to what is most important in life. It's shifted so much for me, you know, like the things that I was worrying about before, they've just whoof, what people are dealing with now. Um, and so I want to request for whoever is listening for you to send a prayer to all the people in Turkey who have lost their homes, who have lost family members, friends, colleagues, and who need to rebuild. And you know, they need all the strength and light that they can. Um, Sending, of course, your monetary support is also great too, but you know, we need to make sure that we're sending it to the right source, and we're at a different stage now, really, of people needing medical care, major medical care as well. But I always know that the light emanating from your heart and the energy that you can send is very powerful. Ask the angels to help. Ask Mother Nature to help and to repair the land, and send feelings of warmth, security, safety. Imagine that there is a temple or a structure being built around that land. You know, this is an idea for a visioning journey that you could do, where there is a feeling of strengthening happening and rebuilding, so people can go back into their homes or not, make the correct conscious choices to move into a safer location, and rebuild in a way that is not greedy, rebuild in a way that is going to yeah, provide sanctuaries for everyone in that region. Yeah.
And that the right architects and builders will be attracted to, you know, building this new way of building in
Yeah.
connection with the heart and the land, and, everything. It
It's
is also, if we move forward and go past all the medical emergencies at the moment, and food stuff, but go into the rebuilding stuff, it is a huge opportunity for the architects and the builders and the planners and everyone involved in rebuilding a cities, to at least try to be in connection with Gaia.
yeah.
So and of course safety first, but I would almost say, isn't that logical? I was really shocked by this news about skipping safety measures for building. I
Measures, cutting
never
columns.
ever
Yeah.
was that entering as a possibility that could happen. So maybe that is a huge blind spot for my part, but hey, wow.
Yeah. It's shocking. It's really shocking. It's disgusting. And you're right, Nicky. Rebuilding, it's a huge opportunity for us, for architects, designers, even house healers like you. I mean, I was just thinking, like, Like, you guys need to come in as a troop. I mean, the amount of, and I can feel it. There's squigglies. I sense them as squigglies. A lot of traumatic energy now within that area. There are a lot of ghosts. There are a lot of earthbound souls right now. They need to be there. I mean, it's not like, okay, we need to just sweep everything away and make everything all pretty. Not talking about that. But to have a troop of house healers, of geomancers who are on the ground, like we talk about medical care. Well, what about spiritual energetic care? There are nature spirits in shock too over there. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
what just happened here? And
And
yeah,
what I wasn't aware of, and what you just mentioned, is the people that are even not affected by the earthquake, that they are also afraid to enter their homes, which
the
is a
other day,
dimension I haven't even, given a second thought. But of course, that happens as well. It is a trauma for so many people.
everybody. I've been experiencing it in waves myself. We live on a third floor in this kind of rooftop structure. Our roof is luckily wood. It's a wood structure. But still, it's our last week or 15 to 12 days there. But still, I fear it. As a mother, I fear it. I go through waves and then I do my visualization, which I actually shared just now, a strengthening visualization, a prayer, and an imagining. And I'm not suggesting that this is going to fix a really crap building, but, to at least soothe my inner temple so that I can hold space for my family in a better, stronger way. The other day, exactly, Nicky, you hit it right on the nail here. I mean, this is everyone's trauma right now. The other day, there's a public school right beside our house, and something that I don't like, the main teacher is on a big megaphone in the mornings to the children, which really bothers me, by the way. Don't think that's a proper way of starting the day. But in any case, I felt the love coming from her voice. And she said it was the first day back. Last week was the first week back to school. The whole country was in mourning. Everything was shut down. Everything was shut down. And the head teacher said, "You're all safe here. This building has been studied or passed the safety test. You're all safe here." And I just shivered. I mean, I hope that that's true. A, as an architect, I'm always skeptical, to be quite honest. B, I'm still happy she told them that. But the children, even if they're not voicing it, there's a fear there, especially if the children are being exposed to television and news at home, which I don't think is good. I don't think it's healthy for them. And there's a lot of TV watching, a lot of news watching here.
Yeah,
Everywhere,
I
right?
can't watch it. I've seen some bits and pieces, and I've heard some interviews of people coming back who helped,
Yeah.
and it is horrific just to connect with all that. And I cannot imagine how it must be to be in the middle of that. It is unbelievable. It's really, really, really scary.
Really scary. Yeah. And to be with that is important too. Not to shut it off, not to shut off your anger, your tears. We've been grieving in a way that we haven't grieved in a long time, right? So, and a lot of shifts and transformations can occur through that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Accept the darkness, accept it, accept the pain. You know, we've been taught, a lot of children here too, they're taught ağlama. So ağlama in Turkish means don't cry. You know, be tough. Don't cry. That'll just come out of a lot of parents' mouths, and I know that it probably does in other cultures as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do everything possible that someone doesn't cry, that a child
Yeah.
doesn't cry, right? Ah,
And
well, what if we cry? What if we really cry? What if we
yeah.
scream? What if we rip almost our hearts out? What if what if we let it rip? What if we're furious? What if we're angry and just let it rip, you know? And then through that process, um, begin to change your own life. You know, there's a very beautiful example. A friend of mine, she's from a region, Kayseri, which is kind of on the outskirts of where the earthquake was um, occurred, and they felt a rumble there. There was a shake. There was quite of a shake in that region. It was felt all the way to Ankara, the capital of the city. They felt it. I mean, we didn't. Very little in some parts. Um, and she said that one of her family members uh, was very like reserved about sharing her home. Okay, just very particular. Set some rules here. The whole family is now at her house, right? Because they were living in apartments, or you know, like some people were in the earthquake zone or whatever. I mean, I don't know the exact details, but there are a lot of it. You know, there are moments here where people's lives are being shifted. Right? Everybody, she's just like she's forced to be with other people and open her doors, right? Which is a rare thing actually in Turkey, because generally we are very open, and you have tea, come inside, eat the food, right? Uh, but you know, everybody's lives are affected right now, and we're looking at. I'm reflecting on deeply what is the true meaning of a sanctuary, you know, and there's a great opportunity, you know, for all you people who are envisioning maybe building a yoga center, or you know, creating a home, like upgrading your home, doing, you know, a new garden design, building a community of some kind, to now consider how you can help somebody else through your project. How can you share that project with others? You know, it could be, there could be so many different forms. And I'm not saying that you need to open your doors 24/7 and make it like you know, yeah, I'm just saying that for the people who are envisioning a larger project, to consider within the business model to support a cause. There are so many, I mean, if you're in North America, there are so many homeless people. There are so many um, lost teenagers, you know, who don't have a purpose. There are so many people who are depressed and need perhaps some time in a garden to restore, or like what you do, Nicky, with the cold water swims, right? And so it's not only about designing a pretty building or a pretty garden or an energetically aligned space, but it's also to design the program. Okay, what are we going to really support here? What are we going to, who are we going to support? How can we exchange? Maybe you create like a, you know, like a Saturday market that of exchanging old clothes with your neighbors, or old objects, and that becomes like an event that strengthens neighborly love, or maybe there are teenagers or young. I just always think about these children now, in their, teens, the tweens and the teens, right? That they really need a purpose. They want to be useful. So how do you integrate that into the program of the project?
Mhm. Well, I would always say start at home. If your home is a sanctuary where even if friends come over for a cup of tea, when they feel safe and they are enveloped by this soothing energy, whatever your intentions are, for everyone on a personal level, it differs. But I can assume, you always have good intentions, that caring intentions. And if you are in a true sanctuary, you will feel that and you will be touched by that light and hopefully inspired. You inspire your neighbor who comes over for a cup of tea. And if that is in order, you might be able to create with that certain person a project like you just suggested, a market or whatever project comes to mind, whatever suits your interests and your talents and purpose and everything. So if there's anything you can do and you are not in the area or able to help with your own hands right on the spot in Syria or Turkey or wherever help is necessary, start with your own home, start with your own being, and send your energies where it is needed at the moment. Because you never know. And I wish that I had, one of these magic sticks like Harry Potter and I could, create safe buildings for everyone. And we all know with just, tuning in and meditating and sending energy, there will not disappear overnight a safe building. But you might inspire an architect to find you in order to create, a structure in this new building way that you are teaching. And I can only hope for that. And do that in any way you are able to.
Yeah. So inspiring, Nicky. So inspiring. I took your words of wisdom into my being, and I trust that whoever is listening will do that as well, especially if you're a designer or an architect who's looking for a way that you can make a difference on this planet. I'm hearing a lot of people who are fed up with with the grind of it and the old way of practicing, overworking, and then that there's not much meaning left in what they're doing. And so I really hear that, and this is a really great opportunity. Like we're still trying to it's like, okay, what just happened, and what are the systems in place that are going to help rebuild these cities? But it is absolutely an opportunity for us, for all of us. Yeah, it is an opportunity. And to be able to rebuild it in a way where you're conscious of the trauma, not like, okay, let's just, now sweep everything up and let's build something strong, okay? Even, earthquake prone, all that. But we need a conscious architects who have the tools that you have, Nicky, as well, to deal with, manage, communicate with the energies that are there right now. Yeah. And
So
thank
that
you to
being said,
the rescue team too in Holland. I just love these rescue teams. They're such beautiful souls. I mean, some of them are just crying when they're pulling these people out, and just it's just so beautiful to see these men with such strength. And I mean, I don't know if there are any women in the team. I always see the men predominantly. Um, just to see their hearts pouring, you just see their hearts. You can see them. They're just so strong and so they're on there. They're on the ground. And yeah, I don't know what the last survivor was and how long they were under the rubble for, but there have been some miracles. It's incredible. Miracle survivals. Yeah.
yeah, I'm always amazed how quickly and how much money we are able to get together, and how much help there is when there is, you know, an emergency.
Yeah.
We saw that with the start of the war, of course, and now this. And then you also, at least I read in the news, how difficult it is because of all the civil wars in Syria to get help there. It's
I
much
know.
easier to get help in Turkey. It is just
They were left
horrific,
behind.
and then
Yeah.
it breaks my heart. And then I really feel powerless, and then I have to remind myself, okay, like Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world, and it's not always easy, but I don't see any other way apart from the things you can do, give a bit of money and support and all that. And we can only pray.
Yeah. Prayer is a very important thing. Continue to pray. Yeah.
And educate in our case. So
Absolutely.
I'm so happy you decided to go along with your interview series in a few weeks to inspire more people. And we will just, have to send more architects to this series so they get inspired to build this new way and to start doing it. And if they are able to, the architects of the world, go help design a new Turkey and a new Syria in any way you can. I have no idea how that would work, but if you are willing to do that and you want to do that, you will find a way, I'm sure of it. And ask Gaia to help and all the energies to help. And I'm sure you've invited so many earth energy experts and architects and geomancers and energy workers to at least inspire people to do this in this new way. So maybe you can tell us a little bit, like give a little preview of that.
Thank you so much for introducing and sharing the Sacred Blueprint series that you've been a part of as well. You've been a collaborator as well, a guest speaker. Yes, I almost canceled the event, and I'm so happy that I'm still moving on with it. I'm hosting it between March 13th and 20th, and we've got women architects and designers who partner with nature's energies, with the wisdom of nature to build healing sanctuaries. And they all do it through their own modalities, whether it be feng shui, building biology. There's a new designer, interior designer, who I've never interviewed before. She's doing what she calls spatial alchemy, and others are are practitioners of yoga, and they're all weaving in a more conscious way of practicing architecture, and that it's affecting not only the fruit, like the outcome, the form and style, or the form and structures of their designs, their buildings, but it's also uh, affecting and improving the way that they work with their team members as well. There, and it's the future. It's the future way of practicing architecture as we move into this, what we call ascension, right? The raising of consciousness. It's just natural that we begin to raise the consciousness of architecture, of the practice of architecture and design. And it's really important. These women are listening to the land, they're listening to nature, they're listening to the environment when they work, when they design, rather than the old paradigm model of stomping on the ground or trying to import a foreign design object influenced by the external world, without any regard for the land, without any respect for the land, without any consciousness of the unique energetics of a specific piece of property or a region, for that matter, right? Yeah, they're working in a way that is what I see is building the foundations for a resilient new earth. Yeah.
And not only
And
that,
so
we
I'm
also
super
have.
excited about it. And we are, there's a call coming in here. I'm super excited about it, and we will be sharing the sign up link very soon. I've got my team working busily behind the scenes, and we'd love for you to join. All of you who are watching, it's a lot of fun. It's an 8-day back-to-back series. Each interview is about an hour long. And when you join live, you get to participate in a bonus Q&A session with the guest speaker. And recordings are available for a limited time after. So yeah, join. It's going to be a lot of fun. Help build the new earth with us, everybody.
Yeah, and I wanted to add, maybe we need to put some extra consciousness on taking the responsibility on safe building.
Yeah.
And ethical building, that it doesn't need to be bright, and energies have an influence on that. So if you can hold this sacred space and create a sanctuary before you start building, the energies will work with you, that you will attract the right builders, the right people, the right spaces to create these new buildings.
Yeah.
And we might, it might be a task for us to pay a little bit more attention to that detail, because I didn't know, that was possible. That was a possibility. But maybe because maybe because I'm a good girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Exactly. I know, me too. It's like you forget about these things. Like, what? People would actually do that, right? And being uneducated is not an option. It's just not. We are so advanced here in Turkey. Some of the most advanced engineers, some of the most advanced scientists, so that's just not within my frame of acceptance. So it's just not. So yeah, on an energetic level too, when you speak, Nicky, it's like the building then is built on a lie. It couldn't be as basic as that. Then the building is built on a lie. It's false. It's not true. It's not an integrity. Right? We need to start to understand the repercussions, the impact of building a building that is false, and is a lie and has tried to cheat the system. I'm not saying the system is good. I'm just saying it's trying to cheat people. So
And that might
there
also
were
be
trying to there apologies. I think we went over lap there, but there were some contractors who tried to escape the country. I think I remember hearing something like that.
Mhm.
Like they were trying to leave. They were trying to go to different parts of the country or something. Or can you imagine, right?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be repercussions, right? There's going to be lawsuits. People are going to be thrown in jail. But it's like who's throwing who into jail too, right? Like
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
just like everybody's responsible. I'm not saying that those people shouldn't pay for what they have done. But it's like it's all intertwined. It's like which building municipality allowed for that to happen. Yeah.
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 And it
And
might
all
also be.
political parties are responsible. I want to say this one last, I'm just good. That's the only thing related to politics I'm going to say right now. All political parties are responsible. I'm leaving it at that.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And what I wanted to add is all those people who are not affected, who still have their homes but are afraid to go in,
Oh,
connect with your house. Because if you have created a sacred sanctuary from your home, the energies in your home will warn you when it's time to leave. So that's another reason to, connect with your house. Even if, technical, maybe it might not be so good, but if you are connected with your house, it will protect you. It will warn
it
you.
will
Just
say it's time to go, maybe. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I love that, Nikki.
so
That
there's
it's a
there's no
tool of
reason to not connect.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it might be very emotional, very infuriating, very disappointing, very everything. But let those energies flow, because if they're not out of your system, it will
yeah,
block your ability to connect. So it's
yeah.
okay to cry. It's okay to scream. You know. Well, you said it before,
Yeah,
and if you just join, just watch the replay, and yeah, just do it and find a way. Be still and connect.
thank you, Nikki. It was great to connect again, and I'm just love our talks. I love our talks, and it's been inspiring for me too to be in conversation with you, and always new doors open for what's possible with energy work, and now more than ever, we are really being called to step up to to do the work that's necessary to help our brothers and sisters here, and also to transform the way we live with the land and transform our own relationship, as you teach us so well, Nikki, with our own home and our own garden. Yeah.
Well, thank you for still being there, and I'm so happy that you are okay, your family is okay, and that you were not in the middle of all of that. So now you are still able to continue your beautiful work, and I can't wait for the next Sacred Blueprints series. And yeah, thank you for sharing your vision from being there. It almost feels like the news, the person from the ground.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
really there, but yeah, yeah. At least you get a flavor and sense of what's going on in the Izmir region here. Yeah, yeah.
So
Nikki, it was
stay
amazing.
tuned for the
Thank
next
you.
one, and thank you for this one. And if you have questions about this, just keep them coming, send them in a DM or in an email, and we'll have a look at that maybe for the next one. And thank you for watching.
Thank you. And everybody join the interview series, Sacred Blueprints, middle of March. We'll see you there. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.